Views and opinions expressed are not necessarily those of the staff or management of the Flavors of Northwest Arkansas podcast.
Well, greetings and welcome to this week's edition of the Flavors of Northwest Arkansas podcast. I'm John Eagleman. Thanks for being here, and welcome to episode 81. Time flies when you're telling stories. Speaking of, this week we're talking to Elliot Hunt, co-owner and executive chef of Atlas, the restaurant in Fayetteville. We'll talk to Chef Elliot in a second because it's time for... Food News. Yeah, man, we have a loaded food news segment today, so pack a lunch because here we go. We kick it off in downtown Bentonville as news came out Monday about the Compton Hotel's food and beverage program, where they'll have three concepts. They'll have a modern wood-fired steakhouse called Sestina. The Eddy will be a vibrant cocktail bar perched above the Bentonville Square, and Field Notes will be a ground-floor neighborhood all-day cafe featuring locally sourced offerings. They're all set to open in November. The Tontitown Grape Festival is quickly approaching, and it starts August 5th and goes until Saturday the 9th. Of course, they're famous for those spaghetti dinners, which they started serving at the Grape Festival in the 30s. Late last week, they finished off making the spaghetti for this year's festival, where they're planning to serve between 7,000 and 8,000 people. But it's not just for that, and it takes some resources, according to spaghetti maker Ryan Penalto.
We sell a bunch of it outside in our bazaar too, in 1 pound bags. So we've only upped the amount that we make just a little bit over the years. We'll make about 3,500 pounds this year. It's 10,800 eggs, 2,500 pounds of flour. And that's what goes into this.
A locally owned Great Harvest Bakery and Café franchise is opening on August the 8th at 2401 Southeast J Street in Bentonville. They're known for making their bread from scratch every day using wheat grown in Montana's Golden Triangle. They serve breakfast, coffee, sandwiches, salads, and of course goodies. Co-owner Tanya Kissinger has been getting amazing feedback.
Yeah, it's been surprisingly overwhelming. We've been so excited about all of the people that have even reached out to us, or even just through our different media platforms, just that are so excited. We didn't even realize that this many people would know what Great Harvest was. And so it was just, we keep getting a lot of people who have lived in other different states that keep commenting that they've been, they're like, oh, I love it, and I love cinnamon chip bread, or whatever. They're telling us what their favorites are and asking if we're going to have it. So it's just been an overwhelming experience, and we're so excited.
Onyx Coffee Lab opened their newest location yesterday in the Fayetteville Square in a space they're sharing with NWA Florist. There's a coffee bar inside and a walk-up window from the outside. By the way, we sat down with co-owner Andrea Allen last week, and that's next week's podcast interview. Don't miss it. Keeping it with coffee, there's a new coffee shop opening Monday in Highfill called Kaleidoscope. It's next to El Pueblito and across from John and Patrick at Black Howler Brewery. The mother-daughter team will be serving coffee, tea, and baked goods. Wright's Barbecue in Johnson won't be opening as soon as we thought. Construction delays are pushing the opening to the latter part of August. Of course, you can still visit them at their other locations in Rogers and Bentonville. Keeping it with barbecue, Smith & Betts Barbecue in Hiwassee will be opening a location in Springdale. It's at the old C-Max on Sunset. No word on when they'll open there, but they say to stay tuned to their Instagram for updates. We'll certainly be doing that. Right across that location on Sunset is Sugar Llamas, except they've closed. They're about to open their new location in Rogers at Walnut and 8th Street in the same strip as Lasong Pinoy. Shout out to our girl Maria there, by the way. Sugar Llamas serves dine-in and take-out donuts, sausage rolls, ice cream, coffee, fraps, and craft drinks. Shouldn't be much longer till they're open in Rogers. We will stay tuned there. This, on Monday, August 25th, Pizzeria Ruby will be hosting an opera night. It's a 3-course dinner and wine pairing benefiting Appleseed's Teaching Farm. Chef Michael Robichaud will prepare the 3 courses, and Pinky Swear and Heirloom 1907's Danielle Robato will have the wines. There's a 5:30 and 7:30 seating. Go to Pizzeria Ruby's website to purchase tickets quickly. Speaking of Pizzeria Ruby, they're opening up a sister spot in Bentonville called Pizza Lottie's. It's located at 1401 Northeast John DeShields Boulevard in the Crystal Flats apartment complex. They're not hiring just yet, and it's still being built out. No word yet on when they will open. Un Deux Trois Cafe in Rogers will be opening possibly in a few weeks. They're at 5465 West Northgate, next to the Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. It'll be a French-inspired cafe with coffees and baked goods. We'll follow their Instagram for updates. Speaking of opening in a few weeks, the Wildberry Smoothie Company should be doing the same in Fayetteville. They specialize in smoothies, New York-style bagels, and acai bowls. They'll be at 3484 West Weddington in the same strip as CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. According to the Fayetteville Flyer last week, Fuego Tortilla Grill will be moving into the former C-Max location on MLK. The chain started in College Station in 2010 and is known for their house-made tortillas, generous portions, their roasted poblano queso, and creative tacos. The article goes on to say that it should be up and running by late November. If you have any food news or want us to check into something for you, shoot us a note on Instagram or Facebook at Flavors of Northwest Arkansas, or you can email us, flavorsofnwa@gmail.com. Elliot Hunt got into cooking by accident, and it's taken him all over the country and the globe. From working in kitchens in France, Ecuador, Australia, Chicago, and that's, by the way, just for starters, the Fayetteville-raised chef never stops learning and never stops traveling. In this episode, we hear stories from both long and short kitchen tenures, both stateside and abroad. What was it like working for a Michelin star chef in France as an 18-year-old? What was it that kept him in Chicago so long? And why did he decide to come back home to Fayetteville? We talked to Elliot Hunt of Atlas the Restaurant, and that's next, right here on the Flavors of Northwest Arkansas.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation, innovating to prepare students for our fast-changing world. They're skilled experts, discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, leading by example. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org.
Welcome back. We are at Atlas the Restaurant, and we are here with owner and executive chef Elliot Hunt. How are you, sir?
I am so good. How are you?
Good, man. I'm great, man. I appreciate you having me. I know you're exceptionally busy. You and I have been back and forth for a while, but
Yeah.
I'm glad we're finally sitting down and doing
Me
this.
too.
I appreciate your
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, thanks for setting it up.
Well, my pleasure. Now, I am ashamed to admit it. I have yet to be here. I'm going to change that soon. I absolutely am going to do that, but it's gorgeous. It's really a nice space. I love what you
Thank
guys
you.
have done with it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure. Now, I want to kick it off with, you're a Fayetteville guy. Mm-hmm. You were not necessarily born here, but you were raised here, and it's your earliest memories. Tell me about that.
Yeah, my parents moved here from Kansas City when I was 1, and I went all the way through, grade school and high school. And was a wonderful place to grow up. I had
Yeah.
a really great childhood, and really love this town.
It's changed a little bit.
It's changed a lot. It's changed quite a bit. When my parents moved here, I think there was about 26,000 people that lived here.
Gosh.
And that's how many students we have at the university
Yeah.
now, plus.
Yeah, I was about to say a little more than that now.
So it's, quadrupled in my lifetime, which is insane.
Yeah.
But, growth is good as long as it's contained and managed,
Indeed. Now, you knew what you wanted to do at a pretty early age, more so than most of us. How did that happen?
Well, it happened by accident. I wrecked my cousin's truck at 14 or 15 years old.
Okay.
And I had to pay for the repairs on that truck.
Oh, no.
And, I was 14, 15. I was mowing a bunch of lawns in the neighborhood. I grew up in the historic district. So one of the people that I mowed their lawn owned a small little Cajun bakery, Creole. It was called Morning Glories. And I asked them if I could start washing dishes in their restaurant on the weekends. And they said yes. And
Wow.
and it was 2 sisters, Patty and Penny, and their brother Todd. And they were awesome. They treated me like I was their surrogate son.
It's the best.
It was great. And I worked there all through high school from 14, 15 years old until I graduated at 18. I just fell in love with being in a kitchen.
Yeah.
And they were starting to teach me how to cook some things, and I love the camaraderie of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I just I couldn't imagine. I'm ADD enough that I needed to move my hands, you know, and I loved the work. I like the work, and yeah, I was hooked.
That's one of the great things. When you're in a kitchen like that, you get that opportunity. You don't necessarily get that at a lot of places.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, I was their only employee, so, you know, it was pretty awesome.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it was a tight team, you know.
That's
and
great.
then I went on to work at Bordino's, too, at like 17, 18. I was in their old space that's now Smoke and Barrel. So I was like doing salads for them, and I made, you know, I was making friends with the other cooks there, and like then it was like, man, maybe I could be a chef, you know, and so I just decided that's what I wanted to throw my life into, you know.
It's great.
And yeah, I've never really done anything else.
It's great. Well, you end up finding your way to France, doing a studying underneath a Michelin-starred chef. Unbelievable. Were you able to, at that age, understand what kind of opportunity that was? Because I know, listen, at that age, 18, 19?
Mm-hmm. I was 18. I was 19.
I mean, honestly, I couldn't even tell you what I was interested in. I mean, I was kind of spoiled.
Yeah, I don't know what you know, I think there's like this romanticism at the time for me of, you know, I'd read a bunch of like different chefs' journeys, whether, you know, like biographies and stuff. And there's kind of like this pirate, you know, of like joining a pirate ship that kind of like intrigued me about being part of a crew. And so I don't know if I like really thought, wow, this is an opportunity is like going to change my life, even though that it absolutely did in the moment. But I also feel like it was very much like a coming of age for me, you know, like a rite of passage, if you will, into adulthood. You know, I mean, after that, I was financially independent from my parents, like at 18. You know, and it was like I had found a craft that I could make my own money, and so I think it's been later in life as I really look back how really important that 1 year in France at 19, working under the chef, learning the language, like learning the culture, like what that really has done for me is like part of wanting to be like a global citizen, you know, interested in other countries, other cultures. I think it was like, yeah, it was pretty intoxicating, you know.
But you're unlike a lot of people, man. You're in another country at 18/19, and that's a lot of growing up really quickly.
Yeah, I mean, there was the opportunity. One, a little shout out, but I got an opportunity with the Rotary Youth Exchange.
Okay.
So, the gentleman who ran it, Paul Reagan, helped me get into a culinary like apprenticeship high school.
Okay.
And really went to bat for me because that's what I wanted to do, and he was able to facilitate that.
That's great.
And so I lived with like three different host families while I was there at 19. So there was still some structure.
Okay.
You know, I wasn't like living in my own apartment or whatever.
There you go.
There was still a little bit of structure, you know.
Understood.
But there was also a lot of freedom. I mean, it was the most freedom I've ever had. You know, I wasn't living with my parents. I was making a lot of my own decisions, whether they're financial decisions or staying out late decisions or whatever the decisions were.
Of course.
So there was definitely a ton of growing up, but there was some cushion, you know. Yeah.
That's great. So from there, you do a year there. Where do you end up next?
Oh boy. Where do I end up next? I come back home.
Okay.
And I had a little crush on this girl from Australia. And so I decided that Australia was my next...
Pack up the station wagon.
That's it, man. And so I went down to Australia. I got a work visa for 4 months and went down there for 4 months and worked in a little cafe cooking. And yeah, there was some growing up there too.
Sure.
I was partying hard, you know.
Happens.
I'm 19 years old, and I was in Brisbane, that they affectionately call Bris Vegas because there's gambling there.
I'm assuming you weren't staying with a host family.
I was not. I was passing out on the beach some nights. You know,
baby.
Yeah. So that was my next, you know, detour.
That's great. That's great.
It was a ton of fun.
Yeah. And then, and just some of the other places, India, Ecuador. Unbelievable, man. You've been around.
Yeah, I mean, I tell people I love to cook, but I think I love to travel probably a little bit more.
Gotcha.
I think I was telling this joke the other day that it's sad that God doesn't continue to create more vegetables, and so like I need to go see the ones that I haven't seen yet, and
Nice.
And I think sometimes the only way you can really do that is by traveling.
Yeah.
Because as much as we like to think, we don't get everything here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, back here, Colorado.
yep, I did one year, a full year out there, and really loved it. I was in the mountains in Vail. I worked at a restaurant called Sweet Basil, which is right in the village, and it was a great experience.
Heck yeah. And then probably my favorite downtown on earth, Chicago. By the way, I had the best pot roast sandwich of my life in downtown Chicago. I couldn't name the place because this was 13 years ago.
Portillo's?
No. This was a sit-down place. I know Portillo's is kind of sit-down-ish, but this was really good. It was after a big event. I hadn't eaten all day, and someone I worked with who lived there was local, said, we're going here. And she recommended that, and I had it. Oh, man, it was so good. So where'd you work in Chicago?
I worked at a MK restaurant.
Okay.
So I did, to get the timeline right, I worked there 1 year at MK, and then I left and I went back to France.
Okay.
And I spent 3 months in France. I worked in a 2-star Michelin restaurant in Paris for 2 months. I think that was the hardest 2 months of my life.
Why?
The chef is now probably close to 80.
Oh.
So when I was working there like 17 years ago, he was like in his 60s.
Yeah.
And he was just old school, man.
Yeah.
He was brutal. He was mean.
Were you looking to leave the second you got there, basically?
I wasn't looking to leave. I was supposed to get paid a very, very small amount because I was like a stagiaire.
Okay.
And he was supposed to give me like 500 euros a month. That was basically going to help me pay for my rent.
Mm-hmm.
And he decided within a week he wasn't going to pay me anything.
Oof.
And so I was like, well, I'm here, and this is a learning experience, so I'm going to stick it out. And
For another week.
And I did. I stuck it out for 2 months at this place. And I did learn a lot. And I love this story. Every day I would cut carrots, and every day he would tell me that I'm cutting the carrots wrong. And I would start saving the carrot that he cut to show me how to cut a carrot. I would put it in a deli cup. I put it underneath my station. I pull it out, and I cut carrots like that the next day. And he would throw them in the family meal salad every day. And he would cut the carrot, and not like a little different, completely different, and act like I was crazy. And it was abuse. Like, just like plain and simple, it was traumatic abuse. He gaslit the shit out of me, man. It was terrible.
Oh, no.
And not to mention like the verbal, and you hear about chefs throwing plates, and
As you said.
this was this guy.
As you
Like,
said, old school.
Yeah, throwing potatoes at you, telling you you're an idiot American every single day, But like I was like, this is my ticket, like I'm gonna work for free so that I can put this on a resume, so
Absolutely.
I can take this into the marketplace, right?
Of course.
And so I was like, I'm just gonna eat it. And then, so I lied to you. I told you I've never done anything else but cooking, but that's not true.
Uh-oh.
I was so burnt out that when I came back home, I couldn't be in a kitchen.
Wow, okay.
I was done. I was like, I'm never going to cook again.
That guy killed you.
He crushed me.
Yeah.
He totally crushed me. And so I ended up building playgrounds and building fences with one of my neighbors for like 6 months. And let me tell you, digging holes and filling with concrete gets old.
Yeah.
So I couldn't wait to get back in a kitchen.
You did like the exact polar opposite of what you had been doing.
Yeah.
You wanted to get as far away as you could.
Yeah, and I just wanted to do something dumb and brainless.
Yeah.
And it was.
Yeah.
And then it was like, I'm not dumb and I'm not brainless.
Right.
So I got to stop doing this.
Right.
And I got to get back to what and find my love for it again.
Sure.
And that's when I ended up in Colorado.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. How did you Now, what was the place in Colorado you said?
Sweet Basil.
Sweet Basil. Okay, that's great. Yeah,
Yeah,
you were there in Vail.
well-known Colorado restaurant.
And so was it from there that you ended up coming back to Theo's?
No, the 2009 crash
Oh, yeah.
happened.
Sure.
And I was laid off. And so I called up Eric Williams, my chef at MK,
Okay.
and was like, I want to come back to Chicago. And he's like, okay, you can come back to Chicago, but I don't have very many shifts for you. And I'm like, okay, it doesn't matter. I mean, in Colorado, I had a great deal going. I was making really nice money.
Nice.
And had saved, I don't know, $10,000 or $15,000, which helped me float through working only 2 or 3 days a week in a restaurant, you
Sure.
know? And so I moved back. And so I'd already worked there for a year, and then I'd gone to France and then Colorado. Yeah, and then I ended up staying another 6 years in Chicago.
Oh, wow.
Working at MK.
I didn't know it was that long.
Yeah. And I love that. I mean, the restaurant's no longer.
Okay.
I had an 18-year stint, which is a hell of a long time for a restaurant.
Sure.
And it was a magical place to work.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't leave. I loved it. Like I loved it.
It's a huge stint.
Yeah, but it's just it was a mom and pop shop. It was owned,
Yeah,
by Michael Cornick and Lisa Cornick,
Yeah.
and they're an amazing couple. He's an amazing chef. They were amazing owners. They took care of
great.
their staff, and the culture there was right, and so it was like there was a couple times, during my time there that I thought about maybe I should go to another restaurant in Chicago and learn something else, and I could just never pull myself away. There was a loyalty I had, maybe to a fault, that I had to that restaurant and
Sure.
and Chef Eric Williams but I learned so much, and when you think about, I think a lot of cooks think, oh, I should do a year, I should do 2 years, but really when you get into 4 or 5, 6, 7 years,
Right.
is when you start learning things about the business.
Mm-hmm.
That they stop just trusting you to like roast beef, or
Right.
cook fish. It's like, no, here's how like the money works in a
Mm-hmm.
restaurant. And so like I kind of call that like getting my master's degree,
Sure.
on the business side. I think if I hadn't spent that much time, if they hadn't walked me through a P&L or, taught me about, inventory management or management in general of personnel, I don't think I'd be sitting in this seat,
Absolutely a master's degree.
Yeah. So, and they were successful,
Yeah.
And so it's great when you get to work for a successful restaurant because not all restaurants are successful. And
Yeah.
so it's like, well, when you go off to do that by yourself, how do you model that?
So, and outside of the, the P&Ls and the orders and all of that, which is obviously the lifeblood, learning that culture that you became so fond of,
100%.
hugely important.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm assuming that's what you've modeled here.
Well, I mean, I joke with Eric that all I really wanted was to make a mini MK,
Yeah.
I mean, and yeah, I think we're on our way to hopefully having the longevity of 18 years. We're at 5.5 now, but yeah, it's just I want a place where it's familial. It's
Sure.
like I think I mentioned earlier. Like I love the camaraderie of restaurants. Like
You
it's
bet.
really what drew me in and reeled me in to like I like being part of a team. I'm not an athlete, but I love sports. And it's like there's kind of a sport mentality, a little competitiveness that's fun in restaurants that I just that I'm really hooked to.
Yeah.
And
It's a
and I
strategy.
think- yeah, and I think that they did that really well, and so I've tried to kind of model that. And they really believed in their team and their employees like really being their biggest asset. And so I've kind of taken that as part of my philosophy too. That like it's not the $60,000 hood. It's not the $40,000 in wine inventory. It really is a team.
Yeah.
And it's like, as we grow, it's me and Brandon, my partner, have really tried to focus on like how to, as the restaurant makes more money or we do better every year, it's like how do we find new things to do, whether that's insurance for our team or 401ks, paid time off, really thinking about like, so I think restaurants get discounted so much that this isn't really a career. And it's like, well, how can we build a restaurant that it really can be a career for our grill cook,
Sure.
or our bartender, or our service staff, or the salad guy right now, that he can't grow into a role that like he can make a real living doing this, and has, a job that provides, And so I think we think about that a lot, and I think I was lucky to work in restaurants that held that standard and made that a priority.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Not everybody gets that or has that opportunity.
Yeah.
Coming up through, especially back then in those days.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. At least from when I worked in restaurants, I'll just put it that way. It was a little different too.
Well, and I mean, I've worked in those restaurants too.
Yeah.
And so when you find one that like really takes care of you,
Yeah.
and you feel like a valued individual,
Yeah.
and not just a cog in a machine, that generates, profit.
Yeah.
I think it. Yeah, I mean,
Makes a difference. You
you get an emotional connection to that place.
No question. No question. So you end up back in Fayetteville, and you get to working at Theo's, and that's where you meet Brandon.
Correct.
Yeah.
So finally, 6 years came up at MK, and I was kind of getting to a burnout point again,
Okay.
and I didn't want to fully burn out, and I had just gotten married. My wife went to the Art Institute of Chicago,
Okay.
which is a very expensive school. So now I just married into a ton of debt. And I was kind of seeing that we were just buried,
Yeah.
I wasn't making really enough money to like get ahead. It was really just to pay rent and satisfy some of the loan, and I was like, I don't know how, and I was working like 70 hours a week, and I was just like, it was becoming unsustainable.
Sure.
And so, I started talking to my mom, and she's like, they have a guest house, and they're like, you could come stay in the guest house for free and start chipping away at these loans, and it doesn't have to be forever. And,
that sounds great.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds
So,
great.
So there was an opportunity there
Yeah.
to really like dig our way out, and I think I came home one night and. Embarrassingly, I think I was like in tears, I was like, I don't have any time to dream. All I do is work, and and I don't feel like I'm going forward.
Right.
And my wife is like, we have to leave. And so,
Bless her.
I think, I gave like 6-month notice or something. And,
Yeah.
and then we packed up everything and moved back home. And really our goal was like, all right, crush student debt, get out of debt, and then let's go to a mid-market, where it's not as competitive, it's not as much of a grind, or at least that was our thought.
Sure.
So, I mean, we thought about Savannah, we thought about Charleston, we thought about Portland, Oregon, we thought about Austin, Texas.
So all of those are so expensive.
Yes. But at the time, not as much.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Now, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that was the goal. It's like
Yeah.
2 years, and I think we can get this knocked out, and then we're out of here.
Yeah. What kept you here?
My wife ended up getting I don't know. There's a couple things. Like, we just saw that there's like, why would we go anywhere when there's so much opportunity here? You think about like a decade ago, it's a lot different than it is now. Like,
yeah.
I mean, the explosion of growth is crazy. Like housing was still affordable when we moved here, and so we were able to buy a house, and my wife got a job at the Momentary in Crystal Bridges, which is like a dream job for her, and things just started to kind of fall into place, and I was able to work my way up kind of in at Theo's from a sous chef to their executive chef over my 4 or 5 year tenure there.
Okay.
And so the opportunity just kept happening.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, it'd be really dumb to move away.
Right.
And then I think my wife really fell in love too, I think, with the area. And then,
Good.
at 30, at 18, you can't wait to leave. And at 30, you're like, I really love my mom and dad, you know?
Right.
I really love my brothers, and they both live here.
Yeah.
Or 2 out of 3 of them live here. And it's cool to be able to have like Sunday dinners or,
Yeah.
you know, I think the priorities started just to change as I aged, you know?
Yeah. For sure.
And that leads me to Brandon. So Brandon was bartending at Theo's, and then he became the bar manager. He came up in restaurants. His parents owned, his dad's a chef, his mom used to run events, and they own a restaurant up in Bentonville called Meld. And so he's very much like, it's in his blood, you know? I mean, he was same as me, washing dishes or, you know, food running or whatever, busting tables when he was 14, 15 years old. And so I think we kind of share in like the same work ethic. I think we're both a little bougie, so, in like design, or like we like nice things, you know. And I think there's like kind of a shared vision of like creating something that is nice. Yeah, and I think there was just a lot of shared vision, and so I think I let it leak that I had this vision of opening this restaurant, and he's like, I want to come with, and I was like, I think I want you to come with, you know. I think I want a partner that can really manage and run the front of the house. You know, and I think to a standard, you know, and I think that he could definitely do that. And so,
how long had this been stewing in your mind?
I think from the time that we really started, I want to say like 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
From my parents own the building we're in.
Okay.
And so they bought the building with the intention that we were going to build a restaurant in it.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And so I think from the time they bought the building to the day we opened our door was probably about 3 years.
Okay.
And so I think Brandon and I talked 2.5 years before opening, and you know, and he helped me figure out like how we were what kind of culture we wanted to run. I mean, there was already ideas, but it was like really getting pen to paper and, you know, talking about the business plan and budgets and, you know, all this stuff, that picking out, you know, whatever it is, napkins, and, you know, and plateware, and and, you know, menu development with cocktails, and you know, I mean, I think we argued for months of what the uniform was going to be.
Oh boy.
Which is just funny now.
Yeah. A bit trivial at this point. So
trivial.
Yeah.
And he was right the whole time. So,
so what did you want at that point the restaurant to be?
I think it was really, really, really hard for me to envision what it was going to look like.
Yeah.
And I think it was hard for, I don't know. Like walking in, I still get chills walking in the dining room sometimes. You know, on a Tuesday when nobody's here, and I'm like in the dining room, I'm like, how the hell did we do this? You know?
Right.
And oddly, I'm impressed, you know?
There's reasons to be.
You know, it's hard to be, and it's because it wasn't me that built it. You know, it wasn't really me that even designed it. It was like a team of us. Yeah. My parents were very involved. My older brother was the principal designer, and really helped with the interior. You know, and then Brandon and I helped, you know, obviously we're instrumental in picking out some of the furnishings and stuff.
Sure.
And choosing fabrics. And but it was a team. And so like that team really, all of us really built something that is like still kind of mind-boggling to me.
So what was this before it was Atlas?
So originally, this building is called the Ellis Building.
Sure.
And was built as a Packard car dealership in the 1920s. So it was built in 1925. No, 1923.
Okay.
And then it's undergone a lot of different things. It was a filling station. Used to be a warehouse for vending machines. It was, for the longest time, and I think a lot of locals will remember it as the Beaver Electric Building.
Okay.
Because it housed the Beaver Electric Company for, I think, like close to 30 years. And that's kind of what that's what we've always called it, is the Beaver Electric building.
Sure.
And then it's been our architecture firm. There was a bar up front. There was like somebody that was using, it used to be 2 units or was broken up into 2 units at one point.
Okay.
So we had to bring it back to 1 unit. There was somebody who was like renting golf carts that you could drive around Fayetteville in the back. It's been a lot of weird things, but I mean, it's a beautiful building. Art Deco. It also has like kind of some warehouse vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty special place, and we put it on the registry, the National Registry of Historic Places, and the State Registry of Historic Places.
Very cool. Very cool.
And it's for my parents, I think historic preservation is like really important to them. So it's really been cool that. I mean, this building could be condos, if it was in different hands. And so I think it's really cool, the amount of work that we put into it to preserve it as like kind of a really special building.
Absolutely. It's perfect. Absolutely perfect for what the building is, for sure. No question about it. So you get all the furnishings in, the build out is done, you get everything together. What was it like opening the doors here?
It was mayhem and madness. I mean, it was organized chaos.
Sure.
I think Brandon and I have talents of management that I think are great for opening a restaurant. And we definitely had we knew the systems we wanted,
Sure.
And so I think that, but we were so busy, so busy. At that time we were open 6 days a week.
Ooh.
Brandon and I were working every single day. We were coming in on Mondays, the day we were closed, and doing business stuff. But also we were coming in and we were behind. So it was like prepping or whatever, and it's just work all the time. And so it was go for like 6 weeks. And then COVID happened.
Ugh.
And so that kind of took the wind out of our sails.
Yeah.
As time has gone on, I see some of it as a blessing. We were so busy when we opened. We didn't even know if our business was like legit, if it was actually sustainable, if it was going to work. And so there was as a rug pull for sure, but it also paused everything. And I think Brandon and I got to look at okay, this works for the business, and it gave us time to look at the strategies we had envisioned, and then change some of those strategies. We did a quick pivot. Our community came out and supported us and kept us alive, and we're really thankful for that as well. And
you see that all over Northwest Arkansas.
Yeah, we have a pretty awesome community here.
Without question. I can't tell you how many people I've interviewed, and they've said, people would go out of their way to come get our food, for pickup or whatever back then. So,
and then I think another great thing that came out of COVID was the Fayetteville Independent Restaurant Alliance, which I'm on the board of. It's Reese Roberts and Chrissy Sanderson and Hannah Withers and myself decided that we really wanted to create something that was going to help our people, and so we're still doing that today, which I think is great work, and it's kind of changed from people that are unemployed to more maybe medical emergency or people without insurance. We have there's a lot of people in our industry that are underserved, in some of these areas. So
of course
it's awesome to be able to raise money. I don't know what the figure is, but I think we've done maybe $90,000 to $100,000.
It's amazing
since its inception, and I think it's a strengthening thing for our community and our culture here. Is to really have that as a safety net.
If I'm not mistaken, FayettevilleIRA.com. Does that sound right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Hop there if you want to give to that. It's a very, very good cause. Side note, and it's not something that should be a side note, by the way, but as it were. So you're able to survive and put COVID behind you, and after the taking a breath and being able to reflect and seeing what works and what doesn't, all the pivoting aside and everything done, you've grown since. You came out of it quite well. How's that been for you, and what can you attribute that to? The biggest key, if you will.
I mean, I really think it goes back to kind of what we were talking about earlier, is taking care of your people.
Yeah.
And we have people that have been here since our opening.
It's great.
We have people that we had to lay off during COVID and that came back, and that are still here today. And so I think that's been our main focus, is if we continue to take care of our team, that our team is going to continue to take care of the restaurant and continue to take care of us.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the biggest takeaway. And we want to see the tide raise with our ship. The other, or their ships raise with our tide, or however you want to say it.
Sure.
And yeah, we keep thinking about that a lot as we grow.
Ready to talk food?
Sure.
We'll talk food. We got the Mike Engelman Home Pro Tip of the Week, and that is next right here on the Flavors of Northwest Arkansas.
Let me show you something.
Connect with us at Flavors of Northwest Arkansas on Facebook and Instagram, or by email at flavorsofnwa@gmail.com.
It is now time for the Mike Engelman Home Pro Tip of the Week. And for that, Chef Elliot, what do you have for us?
My pro tip is to really think about seasoning throughout the process of cooking, and also tasting your food throughout the process of cooking. I think a lot of times at home, home cooks will kind of forget about those things. And I think it really sets you apart when you're putting salt, pepper in your food, or any other seasoning. So I would just consider that as the tip.
Okay, all right. Season. It's the season to season. I regret saying that. We'll be right back. Hey there, I want to tell you guys about a very important event that's coming up. It's called Got You Day. It's an important fundraiser for a nonprofit called Gap Relief. They support and empower community servants as they seek to protect, aid, and offer healing to their communities and those that are vulnerable. Their mission's to engage first responders, military, veterans, clergy, medical professionals, educators, nonprofit leadership, and international workers. Got You Day this year is a Lake Day. It's happening Saturday, August 9th at Beaver Lake from 10 to 3. They'll have a barbecue lunch, fishing tournament, a cardboard boat derby, a cornhole tournament, a cannonball contest, lake and pool swimming, silent auction, and prizes. Go to gaprelief.com to get registered for the day there. Again, it's Saturday, August 9th, a great lake day for kids before they head back to school. Every dollar raised supports Gap Relief's mission of helping the helpers build resilient communities. Again, register at gaprelief.com.
Your story doesn't have to end. As an organ donor, the good in you can live on. In fact, you can save up to 8 lives through organ donation. Sign up to give the gift of life after you're gone. You'll be happy you did. Just maybe, someone else will too. Sign up online today as an organ, eye, and tissue donor at organdonor.gov. It saves lives.
Just a quick reminder about organ donation and how important and vital it is. Obviously, those of you that have listened for more than a week know that I'm a huge benefactor of that. Had a transplant, kidney transplant, January of 2022, and it wouldn't have happened if they had not been on the deceased donor list and been registered. If you're registered, thank you. Please encourage others to do it. It's organdonor.gov. You go there. It takes 5 minutes to get signed up, at least for Arkansas and Texas. I've not checked the other 48 states. It may take a little bit longer. I do not know. But it doesn't take long at all, I can tell you that much. You can also do it on the health app on your iPhone. Another quick way to do it. A not so quick way to do it, but if you have to renew your license, go there, let them know you want to be an organ donor. They will put it on there, equally as effective as well. Thank you so much, as always. And we are back. Time to talk food with Elliot Hunt. Elliot, I want to kick it off with how it is you describe your style.
Yeah, that's a little tough, but I'm really inspired by food from around the globe. I mean, I think there's a quote by James Beard, and I think he says that it's our common language, in the world,
Sure.
And I kind of subscribe to that, that it's kind of a cornerstone of culture, And so I don't want to be stifled by having to just cook French or just Italian, or I want to be able to be creative with food, and I want to be able to draw from the things I've seen, on my travels, and that could be any kind of technique. So I think it's like definitely global influence. With my studying in France and stuff, there's definitely French technique, Italian technique. But I would say global cuisine.
That's great.
With French technique.
And you guys continue to go to places around the globe to influence future menus. You and your team.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Well, the name of our restaurant is Atlas, and the reason is really so that I could factor in travel, my other passion, into this restaurant project, and I made the decision that it can't just be me traveling. I really felt like my management team also needs to be exposed to the outside world, and I'm like, how can I help facilitate that? As a team, as a management team, we've taken 3 international trips. Our first year we went to Mexico City, and then the following year we went to France and then Thailand. We're changing up our model a little bit. I am now, instead of taking everybody on a trip together to go to the same country, we're doing travel stipends for our management team, so that one of our managers may go to Peru like they did this past break.
Wow.
Or Japan, and we come back with different ideas instead of we all go to Thailand and come back with the same ideas, if that makes sense.
That makes all the sense.
So trying to spread it out a little bit. And so I think that's been pretty cool. I went to Scotland this summer. So it's like kind of to divide and conquer, if you will. Yeah.
Scotch have anything to do on that trip? Do any Scotch tasting?
Scotch, a little bit.
Good for you,
I dabbled.
Man.
And I brought a bunch back.
Good for you. Scotch has never been my thing until a friend of mine had me try one, and I thought, okay, this is different.
Well, it's crazy the scale of peat.
Oh, yeah.
It can be no peat, or it can be the peatiest, smokiest thing you've ever had. And I think that everybody, if you like whiskey, or even if you're a bourbon drinker, you can find a Scotch that you like on that scale, of peat.
I think so.
And I mean, and some people that don't like, single malt, but they might like a blended Scotch, So I think there's a little bit of
there's a lot of leeway.
There's something for everybody.
There's a lot of leeway there. Yeah. And the reason I hated it was because when I was a bartender in college, it was at a bar and grill where I think the nicest Scotch might have been Queen Anne.
Okay.
Yeah,
I got you.
So that was
exactly
my opinion with it. Well, it was on a shelf. That's about all. So you change your menu every 3 months?
Yeah, we try to stay seasonal.
Great.
We change with the equinoxes, and then spring and fall, and so four times a year with the seasons, and it kind of feels like writing a new album, every 3 months, and it's fun. I think it keeps the team really energized. Like, I think it's really cool for our cooks to be able to see 80 to 90 new dishes a year.
That's great.
We try not to repeat too much. We try not to bring too many things back that we've done in the past too. It's like it's kind of forces us to dig deep, and get creative. And it's been cool the last year and a half, really trying to get my sous chefs involved with that process, the creative process of changing the menu. And it's fun too. I think after 3 months we get sick of looking at this food anyway. We're ready to look at new stuff, and we want to play with something different, or and like trying maybe a new technique, or
So this includes even like top selling item.
Everything goes away.
Okay.
And completely. Yeah, there's nothing that stays on the menu. We have no mainstays. Okay. Also, I don't want to be a restaurant that people are like, that I have to keep a tuna on the menu because people love it and I can't take it off. And I'm like, I'm never going to afford anybody to be able to say that,
Fair enough.
To demand that. You can like things at this restaurant, and if you're here in 3 more months, you're going to have to like something different.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, to keep you on your toes. I mean, I think it keeps everything fresh and interesting, and I think it doesn't allow us to get stagnant.
So when is the next turnover? Is that going
it'll
into
be in
fall?
September.
September?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
About mid-September, probably around the 19th, 20th September, mid-September, yeah.
Awesome. Well, I want to get into a few things here on the menu, the current menu. Got to start with the little neck clams. I know that's very specific to a place out east, and probably somewhat of a rarity here.
Yeah. Well, we've done mussels a lot, and I don't know where I had clams recently that I was like, why have we never done this on our menu? And in 5 years we've never had them on the menu. It's the first time we have, and so I think we're always kind of looking for that thing too that we've never done before.
Sure.
So I think that was a big draw to us. Maybe it says little neck clams on our menu, but we actually changed to top neck.
Oh, okay.
They're a little bit larger.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they're both great clams, but I think I like the top necks a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Pernod. I mean, my team would joke with you that I love fennel too much, that I love licorice too much, but it's true. I drink Ricard regularly, which is pastis, and I love fennel. I can't get enough of it, and so that's kind of why we have that in there. And so it's a Pernod cream sauce, and it's delicious.
Okay, all right. Moving on to Cornish hens.
Yeah, we always try to have some sort of game bird on the menu. This is actually one of my sous chef's dishes, so I think it's a solid dish with his gnocchi nudie, and so we have quail or squab, and so we like to bring Cornish hen in sometimes, usually during the summer.
Yeah.
And it's just a delicious little chicken.
I'm a fan of Cornish hens for sure.
Yeah.
Halibut cheeks. A lot of people may not know what that is, but they're really good.
They are so good. This actually kind of came out of necessity. It's we always want to have like some sort of fish appetizer. So we'll have scallops sometimes. We'll have octopus. I really wanted to bring scallops, but scallops are like so insanely expensive right now.
Are they really?
Like they've like kind of priced themselves out of any market. Unless you're using frozen, but like fresh, I mean, is the most expensive I've ever seen. And so it was like, what's something that like could act like that but isn't that?
Mm-hmm.
And so really it was like, let's do halibut cheeks. And we've never, again, something we've never had on our menu before.
Sure.
So brought some interest for us there, and they're delicious, man. They're so good.
Really are. Yeah, cheese selection. I'm curious on how it is you choose your cheese.
So we have like a formula. We change it every 3 months as well.
Sure.
And that formula really is like we want 2 domestic, we want 3 import. Those imports that we bring in, we don't all want from France.
Sure.
We don't want all of our cheeses to just be cow milk. And we're teaming up right now with Bloom. And having Allie over there at Bloom. She's actually going to start curating our cheese menu. I love that they opened in Fayetteville. I love that we have a cheese shop there. So I really want to throw my support behind them.
It's a great little spot, man.
And honestly, she knows cheese better than me. So, and I had a great meeting with her recently, and I think that shop is awesome, and I hope the best for them, and I think it's so cool what they're doing. So
she might have the most energy of any human being I've met.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But it's infectious.
Oh,
so
totally. Totally. Into the entrees, whole bronzino. I'm a whitefish guy. Whole bronzino. Tell me about those.
So I learned a really cool technique in my days in Chicago where we would bone out. We'd keep a fish whole.
Yeah.
But we would bone it completely out. And so I love this method. It's a pain in the ass, but it's like, it's cool to have a head on and a tail on, but no bones in the fish.
It's crazy.
And to be able to eat it. And there's a lot of other cool things you can do with it. Like we've stuffed it before with, figs and pine nuts, and you can wrap it in caul fat. And so there's I just love the technique. And we've had whole fish on the menu before. Usually we do pompano, and I think we've done dorade before. I don't know. Bronzino feels like summer to me for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes any sense.
It does. It's a lighter white fish to me,
right.
at least, and that's why it makes sense.
And it's delicious.
Yeah.
So we do this bone out method, and kind of we have kind of a Mediterranean idea on it, with cauliflower and capers, and we're doing like a brown butter hollandaise.
There
with
you
it.
go.
Yeah, and it's an awesome dish.
So the bison, correct me if I'm wrong, I probably am, but I feel like it's getting more and more and more popular as time goes on. I'm seeing it more and more. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. The Bison Council has done a great job promoting their meat.
All right.
I've loved bison for a long time.
Okay.
And I'm making a joke because Michael Cornick, the chef I worked under in Chicago, was on the Bison Council.
I see.
And so I've cooked bison for, I don't know, over a decade and a half.
Okay.
And it's such a solid protein. I mean, it's lean. People often mistake it and think it's gamey. It's not gamey at all. There's not a ton of fat on it, like I said, and I just think it's delicious.
Yeah.
And we sous vide a lot here, so we're sous videing it. We have a wood-fired grill that we're marking it on. We're doing hardwood charcoal, and it's just a delicious piece of meat.
Yeah, yeah. And the Rohan duck breast, I'm not familiar.
So for a really long time, we were using Maple Leaf Farms. I think a lot of people would be familiar with that duck. It's a white Peking duck. It's a little chicken-fied for me.
Okay.
It's not very robust in duck flavor.
Okay.
And so I've been looking for a long time to find more of what you think of, what I think of when I think of a French duck. You have the mallard or Muscovy, Muscovy. And that's kind of hard to find readily available. And so I came across, me and Brandon traveled to New York, and I saw Rohan duck on everybody's menu. And I'm like, why does New York City love this duck so much? And it was delicious. So we were eating it everywhere.
Sure.
And I'm like, I got to figure out how to find this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's out of New York, maybe New Jersey. I might have that wrong. Okay. It's New York or New Jersey is the farm. And it's a cross between mallard and Peking duck. And so I think it has more richness in it.
Okay.
More duck flavor. And they're a little larger breasts. And the guy who owns D'Artagnan Foods, have you heard of D'Artagnan?
I have not.
They're like a gourmet purveyor.
Okay.
He created the farm and created this cross between the Peking and the mallard. And so we were able to I was able to track it down and source it, and we brought it in and ate it side by side, and we switched, and I don't think I'll ever switch back. So I really love it. I think it's a really delicious duck.
Great. You learn something new every day. The more you know, right?
Yeah, and that's why you got to travel and you got to try other people's stuff, and,
right?
And that's how it happens.
That's how it happens, indeed.
Yeah.
Cherry bomb dessert. So sadly, I'm a dessert guy. I'm trying not to be, but the cherry bomb. Tell me about it.
Well, we have a really awesome pastry chef here. She started as an assistant, and then we promoted her to being the pastry chef here. Her name is Zoe Montgomery, and she's crushing it, man. Her desserts are super on point, and I just love her. She just wants more knowledge all the time.
It's great.
She's so hungry to it's just crazy to watch this person blossom into their job, and I can't gush enough of how proud I am of her.
Good.
So the cherry bomb was really this idea of how could we make a giant macaroon? Macaron.
Yeah.
And so we played around with it a lot. With like we have like a chocolate mousse in the inside and of the macaron, and yeah, and it's fun. She has like mini macarons as like part of the garnish, and it's a really beautiful dessert.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I think this is. I'm gonna gush some more, but I think this is like one of the strongest pastry menus we've ever had. You know, and
That's great.
It's like super cool to see that program kind of blossoming, and yeah, it's
Awesome.
exciting.
I've got to ask one more. Aw shucks, a roasted corn cheesecake.
Okay, and this one is my favorite dessert on our menu right now.
Okay.
So Zoe, like several months back, made this popcorn ice cream, and it is freaking delicious.
Okay.
And I was like, Zoe, we have to figure out how to make an entire dessert around this, and we just need to knock corn over people's heads, you know, and so. She has corn cookie as the base for a corn cheesecake, and then popcorn ice cream, and then she has made caramel corn. So corn, and,
right?
And then a little bit of blueberries that are acidulated. So we got some blueberry vinegar in, and they're macerated with the vinegar and some sugar, and yeah, and that's it. I mean, it's a very simple dessert, but it's so good.
Awesome. Very good.
So good.
Where can folks find you, both in person and online?
That's a great question. We are atlasthерestaurant.com or atlasfayetteville.com. And I am not very social media savvy.
I can confirm Instagram and Facebook. Outside of that, I don't know. That sound right?
That sounds great.
Okay. I appreciate you, man. Thank you on your off day for having me in.
Oh, I'm so happy that we could finally get this together.
I appreciate it very much.
Yeah.
You can find Flavors of Northwest Arkansas on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. How about that? Please tip your servers. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.